Okay, I just wanted to do a little video for clarity's sake that, through my career, I've made a lot of rock and stone products, and I've taught, since 1996 the art of synthetic rock to over 12,000 people, and that's not even counting my YouTube. I mean, that's just people I've dealt with through a home course or hands-on classes. But a lot of people think rock and stone. Well, that's great. I do that, but I do a lot of other things. I was looking through my hard drive or my files, and I saw 22 projects that weren't related to rock and stone at all. It's just like that saddle stand. I just made this, and I put a video up recently on how I made it using a styrofoam plug and encapsulating it with a high-strength fiber reinforced cementatious composite. But I do all kinds of things. And I just had a guy that I had served, and he called me up about some tech support. He's making a pool. In the pool, he's got a seating area, and usually he puts a round table there, and it's just above the water. And he's making a piano top for it. And he had some questions for me. And again, that's nothing to do with rock or stone. But if I'm going to make something that's indoor or outdoors, generally, it's something I'm going to make with cement. I've made 22 projects that I'm going to show you in this video, just real quick, running through it. But if you need something where you have some tech support, or you want to talk about, my training, how I can walk you through any kind of a project that you're doing, give me a call. My contact information's in the description area, and I'm available all the time. So if you've enjoyed the video when you're done watching it, please like, subscribe, and share, and continue to watch my videos. Thanks a lot, guys. I made a septic lid tank cover for that one, and then right after that, I thought, well, I got a little extra mud, so I had the circle still that was down there, the styrofoam, so I obviously made a tank lid for that one too. So easy peasy, fiber reinforced cement, strong as heck. Okay, this is another non-rock or stone project that I started back in 2012. I built this whale's tail bench for a marine biologist, and I've sold, I can't even tell you how many I've sold. I get regular calls for it, but made with cardboard, high-strength fiber reinforced cement shell, and I've made multiple units for corporations and entities like Marine Biology Institute here in Oregon, but I think I made them 16 of them. This is a trailer load of them going. That's all I could fit on there was 6, so that was the first delivery to them. And I also did the town of New London, Connecticut. I made them 8, and then you can see the 8 crates here. But this is again another project, non-rock or stone. Okay, another project which is like the whale's tail bench, but this is just a vertical fin. It was another project. Again, I made it with cardboard, and it's just one on the list. Okay, the next project is my cementatious Adirondack chair. A gentleman asked me, have you ever made one of those? I was like, no, I never thought to, so I did. And first one I made with a pouring some boards, if you will, some sheets of the different thicknesses that I need. Then I cut them out and had sanded them and routed them and done everything I needed to. Then I stained them with the distressed look that I wanted. And from there, I screwed it together and set it on the deck, and it was a done deal. I wanted to make my straight desk an L configuration and have some additional shelves, so I thought, let's build it out of cardboard. So I started out by making the frame, which I just used flat cardboard and then made it channels and then taped it in this particular shot. And that was all I did. And then from there, I painted black areas that would remain visible after the sheeting was done. Here I've taken the brackets to gusset the seams and joints. And then from there, in this photo, kind of sheeted it. But now it looks kind of weird because the sealer is put on it and it's drying. So it looks a little weird, but here in this photo, it's all finished and ready to move upstairs. Next is my Oriental Chinese lantern that I made using a cardboard template kit and covered with a high-strength fiber reinforced cement. This was one of my more favorite projects, and it was for my wife as a birthday present. But anyway, also put it to where it had an LED light in it that lit up at night, because that was the reason for the lantern. Next is my little vase that I made, the cardboard form, mudded over it, and then splatter textured it to where it looked like granite, and then put a high gloss polyaspartic sealer on top of it. Okay, my Easter Island statue project, which I started making back in 2009, has been wildly successful. I mean, I sell about 2 of the template kits per week on average and have done so since 2009. It's something that I really enjoyed to do. I had fun doing it, and I've done a lot with it. Back in 2009, I created an interlocking fire panel system, which was basically used at all types of fire training centers where firemen are trained to put out fires. But this is a system that's literally been installed worldwide and has great success. So I enjoyed this project as well. Back in 2014, I started to work on a SIPS panel project that I have developed, and I'm currently getting ready to start manufacturing these panels on a larger scale. But this was the first house that we built in Jeanerette, Louisiana, and it was custom made for this particular home, and the first endeavor in this space. This is a project that I started back in 2014 and still have yet to complete it. I was making it for one of my younger grandchildren's Legos for toys, and now I guess I'm waiting for my great-grandchildren to appear this next year or two, and I'll make it for them coming up. But again, it's not a rock or stone. My anvil project that I did to make a bigger anvil that was 12 foot long, 5 foot high, and I think 2 foot wide was made in scale to what a real 100-pound anvil would be. And then I just thin shell coated over the cardboard and then polished it, stained it, and sealed it, and out the door it went. So, okay, this is a project we did for a casino. This is Mayan symbols that we made panels for a long run on a wall. We actually made the molds for it, and they were interchangeable as far as creating a different pattern. We also produced an omelet head from this plug of foam, and then carved it, and then didn't get it mudded as far as the video is concerned, but here's the video of it in the actual casino, and also made them not just the Mayan panels, but also an Easter Island statue as well. Okay, this is a video how I made this 23-inch model, ceramic model, into a 96-inch high-strength fiber reinforced cement that's on a foam core base. Okay, so in this clip, I'm just carving. I sped it up. It's a fast, easy process. Then I go into mudding it, again, sped up. And then from there, you see it, I'm sanding it, and then I seal it, and then out the door it goes. Okay, just a little drone footage here my son shot for me. Really appreciate you guys watching me on the Big Rock and the Panther build. So appreciate the opportunity to show you guys my work and have so much loyal support following me. I really appreciate it, guys. I hope you like this project. I can't say enough. I really love this Panther. My wife is really happy with it, and that's all that matters right then and there. So, okay, just doing a short video here on the installation of my concreted Raptor. This is something that I made. And there's several videos on my channel where you can see this being formed in a shape, the form shape to where it looks like this Raptor does now, but it's made out of cardboard. And then there's a thin shell of a high strength, fiber reinforced cement mixture that I use, along with reinforcing that mix in small thin layers with mesh, and then more mud, and then more mesh. So it's only, I think the body is like 3/4 of an inch thick. The whole statue weighs in at 300 pounds. Now that's still enough to where you can't just go over and pick it up, 2 guys. If you had a bunch of guys, I imagine you could, but it's got enough weight that it's awkward in its shape, and the lift is just the way to do it. At any rate, this is a project that I started 2.5 years ago. Mind you, my wife started asking me 10 years ago for a Raptor, and I was like, I thought she wanted it for put in her business so that road traffic would be enhanced and looked over at, you know, her store type of a thing. But no, she said, no, I want it on the front gate. That's where we're heading right now. From my shop to the front gate is 500 feet, and we're booming it out there right now for that. But 2.5 years it took me to play with this thing and get it out of the shop finally. I get bored with a project and then let it sit, or business takes me away from it, other projects that are paying, because this is a non-paying job. It's for the wife, and it's something I have to do, but other work is more priority, so that's why it took 2.5 years. But okay, next is this Craftsman style tapered column, and it's a 2-piece system. Here I've got a prototype, and I'm getting ready to mold it, and then from there I have the mold and I'm casting in it, and then from there, I'm taking and standing the mold up and taking it apart to reveal the single casting. So it takes two of these to make a column. Next project is a saddle stand, which I made with a styrofoam plug, as you can see here now. And then I coated it with a high-strength fiber reinforced cement, sanded it, polished it, and then sealed it with a polyaspartic tinted sealer. And then the installation, sweet and easy. Okay, this is where I'm making a sledgehammer out of a real one that's on the left. I made a mold, and there's the fake one on the right. And from there, I got the castings that you see on the table. They got slag, as a lot of castings do. And then from there, this is the actual mold. I had a hammer hanging from the bench. You can't see the wire. And then I put the face on it, and that made the mold. And then I could pour it with rubber. This is me now packing the mold, so it's being the first time I packed it. And then from there, it's coming out. This one had a lot more slag because I got generous with the mud. And then I basically ground that up, and then I started painting the handle black. And then from there, the head silver, and from there, it's a finished deal. So that's it. This video covers me making a mold to create polished spears. I start out with a cardboard plug to start with, just to save on mud. I've already placed fiber mud and ran the smallish radius jig around it. I let that mud tack up. Now I'm placing the second layer of fiber mud and running the second jig around. The next day, I placed a mortar mix and ran the next shaping jig around to better the shape of the spear. I then let that dry for an hour, and I followed up with a finer cream coat and ran the next shaping jig around that one last time. The next day, I sanded the spear down and then started to apply 4 coats of a mold release agent in preparation of beginning the rubber molding process. We then brushed on the first layer of molding rubber onto the prototype. As that first coat is drying, I'm placing the form. We are going to be using a pourable liquid rubber to more easily fill the smaller gap or space that remains. Okay, now filling the form with the pourable rubber, which was firm in about 15 minutes, where it was good with us to go applying the last 2 coats of the brush-on molding rubber coats. Okay, started to demold the mold by breaking the form of the foam into pieces. And then I had to razor knife off the flap of unwanted rubber from the mold. Okay, with this sander, this is a wood sanding disc, and I'm gonna take this speed bump out of here and just smooth this off so that the mold, the hard mold, will come off the rubber easier. Okay, so now it's profiled, and it's not perfect, but if it doesn't have any catches, then you can't get it off, and that's why I profile this. I've released it with an oil. I put this up to divide. I'm making a 2-piece hard mold. Okay, just continuing on making the mold here. This is something that I have the full length video on the start to finish, meaning I've got a spear casted and everything, but this is just a short that I made, and if you need more information, just look up at the description area. Okay, so that's the second half of the mold done. Tomorrow I'll be grinding this to make it nice and flat, and then breaking the pieces apart, literally with a chisel. This is the first, there we go. Okay, so I've drilled and bolted the flanges together, and now I'm gonna take the rubber off and put it inside, and we're gonna do a casting. But, you know, surprisingly, as thick as I make this, see how that distorts? You start packing it with mud, you won't keep that shape. It's got the polished shape or smooth surface, but it's not capable of transmitting the form. So together with the hard mold, this put inside of that, you get the two, the formation and the texture. Stick with me, we're gonna make a casting. All right, so I made a prototype of a spear, and I made a half of one. I wanted 2 halves together to go, and then I could mud the difference. And this trowel was made to where I could trowel that, and it'd give me the perfect spear. Okay, these next 3 projects will bring the total project count to 22, but there's 3 log-orientated projects in this. There's a balance beam that the kids walk on. It's a big hollow tunnel that they crawl through, and then one that holds the net, a spider net that's vertically orientated, the log, and then it attaches the net to the log, and then the climbing rock that you'll see. So that's 3 non-rock projects in the sense that the balance beam, the hollow tunnel, and the log pole to hold the net are all being classified as non-rock. Okay, guys, I just got done sealing the hollow tunnel log, And as I was saying, I've been saying AstroTurf goes in here, but it's actually a soft foam urethane spray. The whole playground gets covered in this. And that's why that's not stained nor the hole fixed, because it's just going to get sprayed over. But the balance beam is all finished as well. I did a detail here, which the other company that I saw that he used to buy from didn't do, where the bark and the interior wood were very much separated by a line, stain and texture, both. And then the same thing on this end right here, where this log, the center wood shows. And then my detail here of the actual bark to the interior wood is more defined and smoother, and not all kind of crappy looking like the ones I'm showing you here now in the picture, which I didn't much care for. But anyway, getting to go to town and get the lumber package and build the 2 crates for these 2 and get them shipped. And then I got to start with this. This is the base for the big rock, which is another playground piece to this project. There was 3 items purchased. This is a 8-foot long by 6-foot wide by almost 8-foot tall rock, climbing rock that we're making. So I'm going to be doing that next. Stick with me. So this morning I came in and I took the hard molds off, and I've cut the rubber now to be able to take it off. And you can see I got a lovely, got some tree bark, really good here. Getting ready to put the mold back together, and I've kind of assembled it here. What I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to use a thin shell. It's not going to be solid, it'll be hollow. And once that's dry and I take it apart, then I can stand it vertically and I can pour it with concrete. I don't want to pour this with concrete vertically. I won't pick up the definition and detail with concrete. But by taking this top off, I can actually pin this mold open all the way down on both sides. I can take the time to address the inside. So I'll put a thin cream in my fiber reinforced mud, paintbrush it in. Once that sets for just, I don't know, half an hour, I'll be gently closing it. And then you align this back up where the 2 halves come together. And once I drop this top onto it, it pushes from all around, and that has to stay together where I've cut it. And right now, you just got to stick with me. I'm going to show you a tutorial on this step by step, how I actually make this. Thought you might like to see the log that I just got out of here. All I gotta do is pour it with the concrete and the rebar, put the brackets in, stain it tomorrow, and package it. So we're on our way. This is the only photo that the company that manufactures the Spider Mountain climbing rock uses to sell this playground equipment. Notice the spider net has 4 connecting points, 2 on the rock and 2 on the log. Now that I have a hollow log casted, I need to pour it solid with concrete with the 2 attachment brackets and rebar reinforcement installed. The rebar has to stick out of the bottom of the log 3 feet to connect the log to the concrete foundation being poured on site during the install. Okay, so the next day it was dry. I started to stain it, and once I stained it, I sealed it, and then had already built the crate. So I just shrink wrapped it, put some carpet padding in the thing, and loaded it up. Well, if you liked the video, please like, subscribe, and share. And thanks so much for watching my video. Well, that's the end of that, and I appreciate you guys watching my videos. If you've enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and share. And I mean, I can't believe it was almost 18 minutes or over 18 minutes for this video. I averaged about 40 seconds per project, and there was 22 projects, and then there was the intro. So I don't know. I'm not really good at making videos, but I love doing what I do, and I love serving people that need assistance in making anything that they have in their mind. And I've got, 50 years in making things, so I'm kind of passionate about what I do. But thanks a lot. You guys have a great day. Bye.